are now listening to a 302 Birds podcast experience, proudly powered by Tick Pick, Cutbet, El Diablo Burritos, Nick's Pizza, and Klondike Kate's on the heart of Main Street.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to season 6 of 302 Birds. It hasn't been one season of it hasn't been two, it hasn't been three, it hasn't been four. It's been 6 beautiful, amazing seasons of this podcast, and I can't believe that you guys are on this journey with us. It feels like a camaraderie has been built the past 2-3 years of just doing this weekly, talking Philly sports, and waiting for that soul-searching championship. We're going to get one soon, guys. I think it might be this season. Maybe, if I'm not wrong. But regardless, welcome if you're new here. Please smash that like button. If you can, hit the subscribe button as well. We really appreciate it. And let's break this down, man, because we had to take a week off. Eagles lost to the Bucks. We gave you guys the sad news, but now we're going to give you guys the good news. Looking forward, we got a lot of good things coming. These new coordinators, pretty good stuff coming. So without further ado, even though he's not here, we're going to give a shout out to El Diablo and thank them for sponsoring Jack's weekly call-ins for another season. And we're actually welcoming some own family blood onto the show this week. A big shout out to Ashley's little brother, Sean, for bringing our call in this week. Let's see what he has to say.
What do I want when I'm in the state of Delaware? Of course, El Diablo Burritos. Customer service always is serving your food with a smile on their face, asking how your day is. Their food is phenomenal as well. Their burritos are out of this world, one of the best burritos in town. Their queso is phenomenal. Their burrito bowls are amazing as well. When you're in and around Delaware, stop by your local El Diablo Burritos and tell them that 302 Birds sent you. God bless.
Hi, I'm Sean, and my question for you guys is, what are you looking forward to the most and the least about Kellen Moore as our new offensive coordinator?
Yeah. Who wants to take it first? I mean, there's a lot of pluses and minuses about both these guys.
I could go real quick.
Okay, go ahead, Decker. Okay. Never mind. You get first.
Just number one, most importantly, he's not Brian Johnson. So that's what I'm looking forward to the most. He's not Brian Johnson. We got an actual guy that can call plays. And the least is, I swear to God, bro, if I ever see fucking DeAndre Swift lining up at center, just like he did, his plays get too cute sometimes, kind of just like he did at the end of the Cowboys-Niners couple years ago, that end of the Dak play. So yeah, I would say least looking forward to how cute his plays get.
Yeah, I think it's going to be nice to have somebody with sort of a adult mindset. What are you thinking, Tom?
I'll start with what I'm not mostly looking forward to. I think, unfortunately, sometimes with his style of offense, he relies a lot on slot receivers, which we don't have a lot of right now. And two, he doesn't have I'm not sure if it was a product of him. I know we know Dak folds under pressure, but I'm not sure if he also folds under pressure as well. That could be a negative, but his other positive is he has that Kyle Shanahan / who's the guy on the Rams?
McVay.
Yeah, McVay. Thank you. They're both two very young and kind of like progressive style offenses where they kind of mix like an NFL style offense, West Coast offense, and like a little bit of that college offense where you can do some fun things, like kind of like how like the Chiefs used to do that thing where like everybody's spinning around in the huddle before going to the line to try to do some deception. And he's a very smart guy. Like if you talk to him, he's very intelligent. He knows the ins and outs. He knows a lot of the tiny details that he incorporates into his plays, into his pre-snap stuff. So I'm very excited to see a lot of like what he has to bring that we were really missing with, because Brian Johnson got to the point of predictable. Like a common complaint by the King on WIP, Howard Eskin, is that people were complaining about too many screenplays and that there's a lot of screenplays in the playoffs. Well, when you telegraph where you're throwing the screen to, who you're throwing the screen to, and not doing anything pre-snap or during the game, well, it's very obvious what's going to happen. I like that Kellen Moore likes to mix up what's going on pre-snap, and that you might he might run the same play 3 times, but it never looks the same 3 times in a row. Like Brian Johnson ran the same play 8 times a game, and it looked the same exact way 8 times a game. That's why Jalen couldn't get anything going.
The one thing I'll say, and Tom's going to fucking love this, he's about to light up like a Christmas tree. The one thing that I don't like, Kellen Moore, I love the guy. He's freaking genius on offense. Smitty is about to eat. I don't like the fact that this guy's 35 years old, though, and maybe I'm wrong for that, but I'm not the only person that thinks that this guy's looking like he's waiting for the limo for prom, right? This guy looks like he's waiting for the limo for prom. He's like, where is it? I'm in my white suit. I'm ready to be picked up. It's like, dude, I don't know. I just think that there's a certain level of respect, and I don't think anybody on the offense is older than 35, but I will say we'll have a couple guys that'll be close to that next year. Not saying that it's impossible for dynamics like that to work. I think that the whole Jason Kelsey, Nick Sirianni dynamic works phenomenal, but I just think a lack of experience. But I mean, the guy, what he did in Dallas, you got to give him credit. I mean, he was an exceptional coordinator there. He put up the numbers. He just had a bad year in LA. So, I mean, I will say this. When LA coordinators come to Philadelphia, very good things happen. You look at, I think, did Frank Reich come
Yes,
from?
Frank Reich
Came from the Chargers.
And you got Shane
Steichen.
Steichen. I'm just saying, history repeats itself. Ashley, Sean, either of you guys got any thoughts?
Yeah, I can jump in real quick. Obviously, I think the biggest negative is the fact that he is so young. I kind of feel like we're in a little bit of deja vu here. We took a chance on some younger coaches last season that did not go very well. So I'm really hoping that this time is different, but here's to say that it couldn't go off the rails again. I am most excited because he knows Dallas. Therefore, he knows the NFC East. And we have actually never, which this shocks me, we have never taken a player who went to be a coach or any sort of coach or coordinator that has been on Dallas at one time before going to the Eagles. Which I'm shocked that in all of these years, we have yet to take someone from that has been on the Dallas sideline at some point. So again, we've taken coaches both or players both ways, but no coaches. So I'm hoping that this works out well in our favor.
I hope you're right too. Big Sean, how are you feeling about this whole coordinator situation?
Sorry, my mic was muted. But yeah, so I feel pretty confident. I mean, I like the Vic Fangio signing. He has a lot of experience on the defensive side. He's also a great defensive mind when it comes to that. So I think the defense is going to be fine as long as you get some more players for the linebacker core / safety core and maybe even cornerback core. But I think he's going to strive to do as best as he can because and even better because he's from PA. And he probably grew up an Eagles fan, like what Dalton said. So I could see him being a really good coordinator for us. Now, Kellen Moore, he averaged 27 points with the Chargers, and the Chargers didn't really have any weapons on the offense, and the Eagles do have weapons on the offense with Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown and everybody else. So I do believe that he's going to figure it out, and you're going to see a more elusive offense rather than Brian Johnson, like predictable. So we just have to wait to see how it pans out. But I think you go from 7 years of experience total to 25 years of experience. So I think it's a huge change.
For real. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it pans out. And like you said, I mean, the age gap here is a tremendous one. So I'm interested to see how the whole locker room and respect dynamic goes. I think that that's going to be interesting. I think that that's going to be interesting to see play out, but only time will tell. I do want to thank once again El Diablo for sponsoring that segment for another season. And can you guys smell that? Tom, do you smell that? I smell spring in the air. And when spring's in the air, baby, you know what time it's for.
Time for Phillies talk with Bob Tommy. Finger stitch.
You are muted. I tried to tell him beforehand.
Well, now we got it. Well, either way, still like to thank Nick's Pizza. We're off to a flying start.
Hey, at least you said it.
Yeah, I know. Nick's Pizza at least has a better intro. They'll do a better hello than I will, but but either way, we're back to the park. Pitchers and catchers report. I want to say it's about 20 days. I believe it's February 20th at this point for them. Or is that the first game? I forget at this point. The dates all mixed together at this point. It's busy season for me, if you couldn't tell, folks. But I'm excited. This team didn't really change that much in the offseason. Their big we'll call it their big splash of the offseason was signing Nola to a big deal. But other than that, they were kind of in on Yamamoto. Dodgers snatched him up. There's still some big names on the market I could see them going after, like Montgomery or Blake Snell. But other than that, this roster is pretty much the same as it was last year. We have some exciting prospects that are the same as last year, with McAble coming to camp again this year. Andrew Painter, I believe, will be at camp. Obviously, he won't be participating much. He'll be rehabbing more so still from that Tommy John surgery, who I believe the last check-in, he's like expected to maybe make a return to the minors by June, but like make like decent like rehab strides starting in May. So it's all young stuff to be excited about, young players to keep looking forward to. The Phillies are still a bunch of young studs with Marsh and Stotty. We will have the daycare back. I'm just excited to be back at the park very, very soon. I got my season tickets this year, Dutch. I'm ready to go.
He's all in. He's all
in. So, Dutch, how are you feeling about being back at the park this year? Are you ready to have a dollar dog night? Are you ready? Oh, wait. We don't have dollar dog nights so far this year.
Are you a fucking mind reader or something? Because that was the one note for your entire segment. The one thing I give a fuck about with baseball is dollar dog night. So I am so glad you brought that up. I'm not going to let you get past this one either, sweetheart.
Good. I don't want to.
Why are they getting rid of democracy in America? Why are they getting rid of freedom? Why are they getting rid of my rights? Give me dollar dog night back. Let me dress up like a hot dog along with 400,000, not 400,000, thousands 40. Of other degenerates, maybe hundreds, but like there's easily over 100 people at the Phillies game on dollar dog night in a hot dog costume. I'm willing to bet.
I think there's over 100 people in there, period, any night, but
hey, not in a hot dog costume. Maybe not. I mean, it is Philly. Maybe a costume, you could say, but not a hot dog costume specifically. So I'm excited to be back. I can't wait for, you know what I can't wait for, Tom, the most?
What?
Chicky and Pete's crab fries, along with when I get to sit up in the nosebleeds. There's nothing like that first home run bet. And you know who you got to hammer it on when you're at the ballpark is Schwarber. Especially in the month of June. I can't wait for the day that it's a hot summer day. I'm sitting out there with Tom next to him. He's sweating like a horse. It's like fucking 80 degrees out flat. And I look at Tom and I say, we're going to put $10 on Schwarber first home run. He hits it. Me and Tom both cash out $120. I'm dressed up like a hot dog. I just bought $120 worth of hot dogs for the entire stadium. Life is good. What more could you want, right?
Those are the best days. Notice, everybody always talks about how great summer is. They always talk about how great spring is. Nobody's ever talking about how great January is. January feels like it's been 8 months and it's finally the last day of January. You want to know why? Because all there is football, hockey, and basketball. Oh, it's missing the world's greatest sport, Dutch. It's missing baseball.
Get the hell out of here.
It's missing baseball.
My 80-year-old grandpa, and then the guy playing shuffleboard up the street think the same thing. What were you saying, Ash? Sorry.
It's cold in January. I want January to get over and the first 2 weeks of February. After that, spring is here. But until then, heck no. Send me to Florida.
Colder for you. You're in the Windy City. Well, sort of. But
January is good when the Eagles are playing football. When the Eagles aren't playing football,
it sucks.
Yeah, it's horrible right now. We're just watching everybody. We are that Squidward meme where he's watching Patrick and SpongeBob outside his window, and that's us with the Super Bowl and the playoffs because it's what could have been. But hey, 2024, man, is the year of redemption, and I think we're going to be seeing some redemption soon. I mean, we weren't planning on going with this segment, so I'll just go ahead and cue it up next. I'll take it first, but the year of the try MVP. I mean, hypothetically, for the Phillies bridging into the Sixers too, and maybe the Flyers or someone else, you could hypothetically have 2 MVPs in one season and maybe 1 or 2 championships in one season. All 4 teams have a decent shot when they're doing it. The Flyers right now, the Phillies should be up to par this season. Bryce Harper could easily win an MVP. Embiid with his injury, who knows what's going on with that? I would personally rather have a championship than an MVP. I know Embiid would. I know the city would. That's common sense. But when you take a look at what 2024 could be for the Eagles, I'll say this. And he's not here, but let's go ahead and
saddle on up for Hoss's Hot Takes, brought to you by Sharps, where you can see and tell your friends' hottest bets.
Make sure to download the Sharps app. Use code 302D866 when you sign up for us. Promise you, it's great. It's the social media app basically for betting. But my hot take tonight, baby, if we don't come out of 2024 with at least 2 awards, that could be 1 MVP, 1 championship, 2 MVPs, 2 championships. I prefer that. You know what I mean? If we don't come out with at least 2 accolades throughout the season, it is a massive letdown, a massive one, because the Flyers can win a championship. The Phillies can win a championship and have an MVP. The Sixers can win a championship and have an MVP. And the Philadelphia Eagles damn well next year can win a championship and have an MVP. And some of them can do it both. So if we don't come out with at least 2 accolades, I think it's a letdown, and that's my hot take.
I feel like you're thinking a little far ahead on the Flyers there. Even if we take out the entire situation of the last week and a half, they're good. They're really good, but I don't think they are there quite yet. Philly also just seems to have really darn bad luck with championships the last few years. Don't want to jinx anything. I hope that the Sixers definitely can go all the way, and I think the Phillies have that potential. But in terms of the Eagles, I think the whole free agency market, the fact that we have 20 free agents this season, we definitely could pick up some really great people, but I think we're going to let a lot of people walk. And this team is not going to be the same team that we saw at the beginning of last season or this past season. And I just think we need to have realistic expectations.
I think for the Sixers, Embiid, with this whole injury situation, he's going to be out most likely for a long period of time. I think, while he shoots himself in the foot for winning MVP because of that stupid rule they added this year, I think it's a blessing in disguise, because if we get a rejuvenated, healthy Embiid for the playoffs, that's the one thing we've ever wanted that's the one thing we've ever asked for as a Sixers fan, because he's always hurt every year in the playoffs. So get well, big fella, but we need you for the playoffs. Sixers need to stay afloat, though. You can't drop too far in the standings. So I'd rather have that finals MVP.
You can't leave the team for too long, and I agree. I mean, everybody's in agreement. Championships are much more valuable than an MVP, but when you look at what the caliber that these guys can play at, there's no excuses. Moving on now, I want to actually ask Tom. He had one of the funniest text messages in the group chat. I won't say it word for word, but we had some pretty good comparisons via text message back and forth, making some analogies. But our Philadelphia Phillies come out with a color scheme that we've seen before, hint the Frankfurt Yellow Jackets, but we probably shouldn't have seen before. Maybe some people think that, but I think most people don't. Tom, what are you thinking of these possible City Connect leaks that came out today?
They're absolute crap. Like that, I get it. They're trying to do the yellow and the blue to pay,
but I'll still buy one.
Yeah, but I'll still buy one probably, because I kind of get one of I get one of all their jerseys. Like I have those ones that people hated that are the all maroon. Like I have all those jerseys. But that
You
being
are
said,
the best Philly fan I know. Not to cut you off, but I got to give you your props, man. You are the best Philly fan I know. Go ahead and continue.
I get why, like, the whole theme behind it. Like, it's supposed to be like of the like city of Philadelphia flag with the Quaker and all on it. It's the like there were the Philadelphia Quakers before the Phillies, who were like a 9-60 team in like 1890. Like I think they only lasted like maybe 3 or 4 seasons. They were absolutely terrible. They were worse than terrible. They were unwatchable, unbearable, and a laughing stock, to say the least. So to try to pay homage to something that was that bad and pitiful,
Let's
like
honor them.
I don't think like that should be anything good. The only thing somewhat good is the love patch on the sleeve that I kind of like, but other than that, like the rest of it looks like absolute garbage. Like the granite fade that looks like something like I did in Microsoft PowerPoint when I was 12, when I thought multiple colors looked cool. Like like that, like I don't get this. Like I thought a lot of things were cool when I was 12. Like I thought that color fade was cool. I thought wearing like those Fightins necklaces that were like the braided like fabric were really cool. Like there were a lot of Nike Elites though are comfy though still. So you know what?
You're gonna see Tom at Citizens Bank Park ripped out in some blue and yellow Nike Elites, Philly Fanatic slides, the new City Connect jersey, and $2 dogs in his hand because we fucking petitioned for it again. I love it, Tom. You are the best Philly fan.
I don't know. I just hate these jerseys. I'll be perfectly honest.
The one thing I'll say, and then I'll give it to somebody else. I had written down, this is the one colorway that, you can't make it look good no matter what you do. You could be fucking Pablo Picasso or Leonardo da Vinci. You're not going to make this look good. It's like, let's do diarrhea green and piss yellow. The Green Bay Packers. Sorry, Packers fans. Least, I love you guys.
Dutch, at least with the font, they could have done better. Like, it looks like they tried to do a mix of calligraphy and, like, whatever, like, that modern, like Astro World like stock letter looks like it looks really bad.
I'll just say you can never make it look good. Decker,
Oh, sorry.
You're good.
My bad. What I was gonna say is the Philly across the chest, if that's true to be, I think they're going for like more of like a Declaration of Independence type of lettering, and that's kind of why they did that. But I mean, overall, like it just reminds me of like the Space City Connects for the Houston Astros, like the gradient.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it does look like a nice like 6th grade, 7th grade vibe, with when everybody wore basketball shoes. So I don't know. I mean, I like the color scheme, but like I think after 4 years, you could have drawn up something better. 100%. I do like the patch on the side, but I mean, I think it'll grow on us for the first. Like, I think it'll grow on us. Like, we all didn't like some of the jerseys in Philadelphia sports history and stuff like that, but they ended up growing on us. So, I think it'll take some time, but like ballpark Tommy said, I think I will end up buying one. Honestly.
So you guys both basically just said, "Hey, this jersey looks like ass. It looks like shit. I don't like it, but I'm going to give you my money, Philadelphia Phillies organization, and I'm going to buy one." I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Ass, but
well, in essence.
I'd much rather buy a powder blue throwback. Anything throwback. 100%. Yeah.
Powder blue.
Yeah, you're not going to catch me dropping 150 on this, I'll tell you that. But it would look sexy to see Harper hit a home run in that, so that's my take on it.
Well, he looks sexy in anything he hits a home run in. Let's be honest.
Like a Baby Shark segment. This is like when Nickelodeon brings this fucking Super Bowl to, like, you know what I mean? Like, let's bring the Super Bowl to, like, and like, look, it's a good idea. It's just like the uniforms that a lot of times they have to wear are bright colored, and I don't know. I don't know what the Phillies organization was thinking with this one, but that's enough about a uniform. We're not here to talk about clothes, Dutch. We're here to talk about ball.
He wanted to buy a piece of dog shit instead.
All right, we got one more segment to talk about, and then we're going to finally get into some Philadelphia Eagles topics. And actually, I want to bring the Philadelphia sports insider himself onto the show, a former host, a 302 Birds legend who's going to be joining us for the rest of the show if he would like. But my boy, my brother, KJ McCoy, fully decked out. What's up, Beast?
What's going on? What's up,
How are you
ballpark?
feeling about this Owen Tippett extension, my man? As an amateur Flyers fan like myself, you know, we watch our games here and there, but I mean, it's obvious this guy's the man, right?
I will tell you one thing, and me and my dad were like in awe with this guy. Like that one goal he had against Dallas. I mean, where he did that like that spin move kind of thing. I was like, holy crap! Like this kid's gonna be something. So I'm excited. I think they extended him. I mean, before he went to another team. So I mean, you know what? It's a good move for the Flyers. So I mean, it just sucks the whole situation with a certain goalie, but I won't get into that.
Amen.
Yeah.
But I mean, 8 years, $50 million, Tom. Are you paying him? Are your taxes going into this?
Oh, I know my taxes aren't. Counting doesn't pay that well at all. But I think it's a phenomenal signing. I think he's going to be our next great cap. I hope he's our next captain, and he's been playing great. He plays with that blind confidence that you saw a lot, like when they had like Simone Gagne, Jeff Carter, Danny Briere, all those guys. Like they just played with such confidence, and that's like to go off of what KJ was saying with the spinorama against Dallas. Like he just plays with blind confidence. Like he doesn't give two shits. He just wants to be that next great Flyer. He bleeds the orange and the black, and that's all we can ask for, Dutch.
Yeah, he bleeds the orange hair too, so he's got it.
Yep. That's what I wanted to ask. Like, is there like, as an amateur Flyers fan, what the fuck is the correlation with redhead guys and this team? I mean, I'm all for it. They play great, but there is definitely a correlation between redheaded guys and this team. I mean, maybe it has something to do with the guy on the left. For you guys on Spotify listening, it's a big furry guy that wears the number 00 for the Flyers. Take your choice of who that might be. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be fun to watch the Flyers again soon too. And like, I feel like Philadelphia is like a city of like violent sports. And I mean that with love, but like violent sports are more fun. No disrespect to baseball. Baseball is great. I love, knocking the crap out of the baseball and watching it fly. But I think in Philly, when the Flyers are playing well, when it's a Friday night or a Thursday night, you can go to Xfinity Live, get a couple drinks, hopefully see a fight in the game and the Flyers win. That's going to be a big thing that a lot of people start doing. I think, when all four sports are humming, I'll go back to my point. Tom disagrees with me, but, I go Eagles 1, Flyers 2, and it's a tie between the Phillies. They're different times of the year. I think it's actually the same guy that's going to both games like Tom. So it's funny that me and Tom argue about that because it's Tom going to both. It's just the guy happens to be more passionate about the Phillies. But, I mean, this city's dedicated. So when this team's playing well, I mean, it'll be a full house. So this is an investment in the team too, by the Flyers to say, hey, we want to be here. We want to stay put in this stadium because you guys know that there's the rumors with the Sixers leaving. They're really trying to make an investment, I think, not only to attract the Sixers to stay, but to bring more fans back because it's a shit product and they know it.
Yeah. Honestly, I really like the Tippett signing. I mean, he's young. But I think I might buy his jersey, to be honest with you. I really do
not
like
the
him
City
as a
Connect
player.
One?
No, not the City Connect one. If I get a City Connect, I'm gonna use it as toilet paper. I'll just hang it up in the bathroom. But anyways, yeah, I do like the signing by Owen Tippett. I mean, he's young, and I think he really wants to be in Philly, unlike somebody else that doesn't.
Cutter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I think the team is very young, and I think they have a good, good. I don't know what the word I'm looking for. I can't even think right now.
Good vibe, a good chemistry, a good
yeah,
aura.
just a good vibe, and I think they have I think they're gonna have a really good team for years to come. So, I'm excited, and I'm excited to go to the game sooner or later. We'll speak about that later, but yeah, so. It's a good it's a good thing
Yeah, I think
going on
February
right now in
10th, and thank you
Philadelphia.
for bringing that up, Sean. But if you guys aren't doing anything February 10th, we're going to try to do a little 302 Birds Night Flyers game with friends, of course, too. KJ said he'd be in the house. I'm going to try to get some other people to come through. We're going to try to get Chris to come, Kata, and we're going to see what we can do. But it'll be a fun night. Anyways, Nakobe Dean's coming out and saying that he wants to step it up. He's saying that he knows the type of player he can be, and he knows the type of person he can be for this city. I will say this. The guy has been underwhelming. He's been injured, but I think underwhelming is fair to say when he's played for what we've expected him to be. When Nakobe Dean first came into draft talks, he was going to be a first-round pick. Some people even had him as a top 15 and top 18 pick. He was who I originally wanted the Eagles to take first. Now, the Eagles end up getting him third round. He drops, and you have this guy who's been injured a couple of years. Maybe we see a little bit why his draft stock went back. What I will say is, if you take Nakobe Dean with a chip on his shoulder, and then you go out and you draft a guy who I'll get to later in the show. We all want him. We all know who I'm talking about. But his dad maybe played for the team to foreshadow. But if you pair two guys, whoever it is, even if it's not him, but a young linebacker that wants to play with Nakobe Dean and a chip on his shoulder fully healthy, I think that you're patched up at that linebacker position. Maybe get, a guy in the third or fourth round for more depth, but you need to invest in this position, Howie. Please. It was evident last year. The team got burned again and again and again, and I would love to see Nakobe Dean step it up for the Eagles. I think he can, too. I mean, he's a very smart player.
I agree with you, Dutch, especially because look at how they played the Dolphins game. They were elite with him on the field. Even with their injuries in the secondary, he was able to be a maestro in the middle of that defense and essentially be a coordinator on the field for them and coordinate where everybody needed to be, what kind of zones they needed to be, and kind of where they all needed to be on the field in order to perform at their best. And then you see Cunningham and what's his face other than Cunningham? Whatever. He's not even worth remembering, because they both just sucked. You're absolutely right. Need to invest in this position, and you know what? Quite frankly, it's been neglected for too long, and maybe they need to go get a son of a great Eagles linebacker, as you said earlier, Dutch.
Wait, Tommy, were you talking about Morrow? Was it Morrow?
Yeah.
No.
Was it Morrow? Yeah, Nicholas
Either
Morrow.
way, it doesn't really matter. They both sucked.
Yeah, it was Nicholas Morrow. He sucked.
Yeah.
I can't forget his name. But yeah, Nakobe Dean, man, I honestly was high on this kid for sure. And I do want to see him succeed. I was at the the FanDuel event that they had like this summer, and Brian Dawkins was talking about the Eagles players now, and he said the one player he wants to see perform is Nakobe Dean. So he's got a lot of people that still believe in him, and I mean, like, he has talent, but it's a matter of him staying healthy. And I mean, that's the problem with Nakobe Dean. He hasn't been healthy, and I mean, maybe that's the reason why he kind of went to the third round instead of being a first rounder. And maybe it's because of his injuries that he's had. And I mean, the surgery that he wasn't going to get. But you know what, though? Hopefully he could be the starting linebacker, and he could be that kind of defensive coordinator kind of player, somebody who can really control this defense and wake them the freak up for sure, because they need to wake up, especially at the linebacker position.
Yeah, I think he has so much potential, and we're riding so high on him, and he's been definitely a disappointment. I hope that we can utilize him with the new coordinators in ways that we can build upon his strengths and be able to make an impact with him. And I really would love to see him shine, because I know that he really could do this well in this city.
Decker, you got anything to say?
Yeah, I just think that Fangio is going to get a lot more out of him, in my opinion, compared to the Matt Patricia, Sean Desai, whatever you want to call that failure. I mean, he's a guy, came into the city, bunch of expectations, and these Georgia Bulldogs, we're all so excited for them, and I really hope Fangio can get the potential out of these guys, out of Nolan Smith, Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean, Ringo, really unlock these guys because, there's studs in college. The NFL is a whole different world, so I'm looking forward towards the future, and I hope Fangio can get the most out of these guys.
For sure. And transitioning now into who is that said guy? Thank you, Tommy, for letting us know. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. I mean, this kid's tape is unbelievable. His dad was a stud for the Eagles when he was here.
The
It was
Axeman.
what it was like. Yeah, the Axeman, right? You got Tom, all the old guys from Delco getting all hyped up. But in all seriousness, Tom, how nice was it when this team invested in the linebacker position? We had somebody that can hit.
You need at least competent play there. Like, even with Michael Kendricks, like, he was probably slightly above average. He wasn't like the top Pro Bowl linebacker in the league, but he was competent at his position. And like, I think if we can invest again in middle linebackers, in outside linebackers, in any linebacker, for crying out loud, we'll have that again in this defense. It's people figured us out. Like, they're like, okay, if you just throw a slant pass, your whole defensive scheme is blitz so fast that you sack the quarterback with just sending your defensive line. But now it's like, okay, so we figured out we just have to get the ball out quick because your linebackers aren't going to step up to protect against the short pass, slant routes, and drag routes. Now so why not just burn them every time? I'll throw it to my speedy slot receiver and get 8 to 10 yards every play and get a first down practically every play, if not every 2 plays. Congratulations. I got a new set of downs on second down rather than first down. Great. And then they just march down the field for a touchdown. And then your offense can't ever score because your defense is never getting off the field. Like, this is like a must-do thing.
Must do for sure. I'm with it. Big Sean, you love this guy.
I love him. I like how he was scouted. I mean, he's a Philly type of guy. He is from Philly. He went to St. Joseph's Prep. But yeah, I mean, he's literally Axeman Jr. And if you want that same type of play style, go out and get him. Now, I just feel like Dalton was saying, invest into the position. You need at least somebody to invest in the linebacker core, Like, you haven't had a good linebacker since Michael Kendricks and Jordan Hicks, like that type of era, like you haven't had a good true linebacker in the Eagles, in an Eagles uniform. Now, going back to Nakobe Dean, he's made of glass. And if he doesn't prove himself this season, he's out the door. I can promise you that. So, yeah, I think it's one position that you do have to take your time and go out and get some good people for it. And I think Jeremiah Trotter is one. He's expected to get drafted anywhere from 20 to 22, where the Eagles do have the 22nd overall. So, I mean, if he gets taken before him, I don't think the Eagles trade up in the first round just to go get him. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see how the NFL draft pans out, but he's a great player.
Yeah.
KJ, you have any thoughts on it?
Yeah. As Sean was just saying, I mean, he's a Philly boy, obviously. His dad was a crazy linebacker for us, for sure, former Pro Bowler. I would love to get a guy like this, somebody who's aggressive, somebody who's not afraid to blitz the quarterback, for sure. Yeah, Jeremiah Trotter, I've seen him play a couple. Jeremiah Trotter Jr., I've seen him play a couple games for Clemson. So, yeah, I would love to get him, but I don't know, and I don't trust Howie enough to actually get a linebacker. I mean, when he's right there, I feel like he's just going to pass up on him and pick some other guy, like, I don't know, like maybe not a running back, but a position that is unexpected at all. I mean, for sure. So we'll see what happens, but I hope they get him.
Yeah, Howie's track record doesn't necessarily say that we're going to go linebacker or corner like a lot of us. We're hoping that the Eagles can invest in like a safety even, but Howie likes that D lineman position. I'll tell you that he might take like an O lineman, D lineman, something. Yeah, we have no idea, but I would love to see Trotter Jr. as an Eagle. And another guy, a son of a legend, I was petitioning for was Asante Samuel Jr. So Howie, listen to the fans, man. Take the sons of legends. It always works out.
Yeah,
totally.
I have nothing else to add. You covered it all.
Going back onto there, Joey Porter Jr. He went to Penn State. Penn State type of guy, but now he's a stud for the Steelers. So they're just following their dad's footsteps at the end of the day.
Yeah, hopefully this isn't like another repeat of like when we passed up on Asante Samuel Jr. So, I mean, I wanted Asante Samuel Jr., but hopefully we don't do the same mistake we did with him and pass up on Jeremiah Trotter Jr. So if Jeremiah Trotter Jr. is watching this, we want you, okay? Come to Philly.
Come to Philly. You know what I want to come to Philly too? Freaking money for me, Decker. I need some money this week. I need you to help me out. I need you to help me get rich. Obviously, please don't take any of this seriously, but with a new intro in season 6, I'll just show you guys.
He's always slaving away at parlays for your bank account's benefit. Ladies and gentlemen, Decker Locks, proudly powered by the Sharps app.
Thank you to Sharps for sponsoring this. Make sure to use code 302D866 when signing up. Guys, this is a boring weekend. No football. I mean, don't worry. I'll have my Super Bowl prop bets next week. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce to get proposed lock of the century. Some sports books are offering that. But on the field, I think that was like plus 190. Like, shouldn't those odds be a lot higher? That's not something that occurs on the football field every day. But we got to look at some NBA and college tomorrow because I miss football in my life. There's only one game left, but you gotta go on. Celtics minus 10.5 against the Lakers. Poor LeBron. Lakers are kind of falling apart. LeBron is looking. He's looking like he's ready to either move on to his next team or fire his coach and trade all his teammates again, like LeBron does once every 4 years. So, and the Celtics at home are a wagon. And then the other wagon is the New York Knicks. Like, not a lot of people saw this coming, man, but they're one of the hottest teams. Brunson's averaging Villanova product. They got 4 Villanova guys on the team. Sorry to my St. Joe's guys in here. But, yeah, I'm taking Knicks minus 4 tomorrow. And then college hoops, I'm going Oregon minus 2.5 against Bronny James and USC. USC just stinks, and I just think it's a good spot to get them. Same with UCLA money line tomorrow. I think they're like minus 8, but I'm just going to take a money line. So $100 would turn into $818. I missed by one leg the past 3 weeks. So I should really do like a round robin or something where if I miss by one, I don't lose my house. So bet responsibly, guys.
And legally.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's been horrible because I've been one leg away too. Cade Cunningham messed up my parlay tonight. 19 points, had him at 21. Oh. It has been the one leg misery around here, man. Are you contagious with betting, Decker? Because ever since you came on this pod, my locks have been cold. No, I'm kidding. I'm just bossing your balls.
Yeah.
But if Decker doesn't hit one soon, I think we're gonna have to start like a UNICEF fund or something, and start doing like a portion of our bets to start donating towards charity or something fun like that.
I say we put him outside the grocery store with the Salvation Army kind of.
That's how we get parlay money because we're so cold right now. Please,
whatever, and Ballpark will just be out there ringing the bell as well because he loves to ring the bell. So.
Oh, absolutely.
One thing that's been going around a lot in the Philly sports media, and it actually makes me think. KJ, you can go ahead and take it first if you want. But Big Red, I mean, he's having a lot of success with the Red. Do you regret getting rid of Andy Reid at any point, or do you wonder what could have been, how much success maybe we would have had if he would have stayed?
Well, I'm glad you actually asked me first because I heard about this recently. Like somebody was saying this recently that I heard, and he kind of made a good point. This guy that I heard on the radio. The best thing for the Eagles and the best thing for Andy Reid was moving on because obviously Andy Reid had some off the field kind of things happening with his two sons. So that was a good, I guess you could say, a good like transition for him to move on and kind of get away from Philadelphia and just start a new path. And that's what he did in Kansas City. I mean, they weren't that good at first, but then they were able to keep it up. And obviously they became better. I mean, then they drafted Mahomes, and I mean, God, I mean, like they're on cloud 9 right now, and a bunch of their fans are a bunch of bandwagons and all that kind of crap. But that's not the point. But yeah, I don't think it was the bad move. I really don't, because we still got a Super Bowl and we still got another Super Bowl appearance. But I mean, at the same time, though, could we have had Andy Reid still here and still like having these players that we have now and like keep on, I can't even spit it out, growing their potential. So I don't know if he would actually fit here anymore because it's just a different dynamic nowadays with Philly sports. And I just don't know if he can take the pressure that we have nowadays, but it is what it is. I mean,
I kind of see what you're saying. I agree with that. I think you need to be able to work an iPhone to understand maybe how social media could impact a player's mind. So I think that that's a fair point. What are you thinking, Tom?
I think anyone who thinks he should have stayed definitely wasn't paying attention in those last few years. Andy Reid, let me put it to you this way. His final 2 seasons, he promoted a guy who was an offensive assistant, then the tight ends coach, then the offensive line coach, to your defensive coordinator in Juan Castillo. Like, he was like grasping at straws. Like, he was definitely at the end of his rope. Like he didn't know what else to do. He definitely needed a fresh start somewhere else. Like, if he stayed here, he would have just been doing internal hires. The turnover would have just continued. Like, this team was going backwards in those last 2 years, in 2011 and 2012 with him. I love Andy Reid and all that. He seems like a great guy, great human being. He's had a lot of unfortunate circumstances off the field happen to him, and his friends and his family. So I think it was just for the best for both organizations that he got a fresh start somewhere else. The Eagles were going backwards with him, and it just was for everyone to get a fresh start. And he just needed out.
Yeah.
I wonder if he likes that look too. I mean, I'm checking it out right now. I mean, Jesus Christ, man. Talk about a 10-year difference. He's got on pretty much the same like water sweatproof shirt along with the same waterproof sweatproof hat and the Motorola headset. The only difference is the beard, or I should say the stash in all its glory, has a little bit more grayness. It doesn't look like the watch has been upgraded. My man used to have a tag, it looks like, is hanging out on the wrist, and now he's got some kind of freaking Casio that's keeping up with his diabetes for the cheeseburgers. But hey, he's a phenomenal coach, and there's no disrespect in that. I do think what Tom said, though, it was good to kind of have a break. I don't think that 2018 Super Bowl I don't think Andy Reid would have had the nuts to make some of those decisions that Doug Peterson made. Call it stupid and blind confidence. That's what I'd call it. But it worked. You know what I mean? It worked. And there's something to be said for that. So I really do like, this topic and bringing it up, because I think that there's been a lot of people out there who have been giving Andy Reid a little bit more cake than he deserves. And like Tom said, kind of want to forget, what we went through. We do not have any trivia for you guys tonight. We'll be restarting season 6. I do want to tell everybody, though, our crown champion is Mr. Ballpark Tommy. We're probably all going to chip in and get him a little light bulb trophy that you guys will see on the trivia coming up soon to signify he's the champ. But I did want to debate this with everybody and talk about, I meant to add more, but as a fictional boxer, I was going to say fictional athlete, but as a fictional boxer, if you put Creed and Rocky in a ring, anybody got any bets?
Oh, geez.
Rocky Balboa.
Yeah, Rocky.
Gotta go
Hey,
Rocky.
I'm gonna take Creed.
I'll go with Creed too. I'll take Creed plus 120. You know what I mean? I feel like that's pretty fair odds. I think it would be a pretty good fight, but aren't they from the same universe in a way too, is what I'm thinking about, because Apollo.
Well, yeah,
Creed.
Creed and Rocky were like two Philly movies, but like Rocky Balboa is in Creed. Like it's mainly meant like it's like a second like sequel kind of thing for Rocky Balboa. But I'm gonna take Rocky Balboa in a fight for sure.
I'm taking
Dutch.
Ivan Drago.
Drago.
He was juicing. He doesn't count.
Fuck him, Decker. He's Russian.
And he was taking steroids. If you watch the movie, he was on the juice.
Cheater.
But also, Dutch, to answer your question more concisely, Creed is Apollo. Michael B. Jordan's character is the son of Apollo Creed.
Yep.
That's how the two universes collide with one another, and then Rocky essentially becomes Mick in the Creed series.
Oh, so they could fight. One day what's going to happen is Creed's going to piss off Rocky, and Rocky's just going to like jab him in the mouth. Hey, be quiet. And then they're just going to start fucking rolling around and going at it in the next movie. Regardless.
Well, they had their spurts in the movies. They did. I mean, they never
got
physical, but
let me ask you this though. So you say in the ring, you take Creed, but like overall, Rocky is like there's a freaking statue in Philadelphia for this guy, a fictional character, not to mention. There's a statue in Philadelphia right next to the art museum, and when you think of nostalgic and stuff like that, every time somebody new goes to Philadelphia, what do? Run up the Rocky Steps. Because it's just like legendary. It's just a legendary movie in Philadelphia.
I don't disagree with you. I like the Rocky movies better. However, if we're talking in the ring, Rocky trained Creed, all of the knowledge that he gained and all the better tactics that he learned over the years. Creed had modern day technology, modern day training tactics, modern day nutrition. He wasn't just drinking raw eggs.
Advanced analytics, Dutch. Based on advanced analytics, Creed would kick Rocky's ass, Dutch.
Creed also wasn't just drinking raw eggs like Rocky was.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Rocky was kind of a dummy.
Rocky's from Delco. That's what they don't tell you. They say he's from South Philly, but they don't tell you that he's found on a doorstep and his real parents are from Delco.
Same with Vince Papale, but I mean, Vince Papale's way smarter than Rocky Balboa, obviously, and a real person.
I should have added Mark Wahlberg, not Vince Papale, but Mark Wahlberg's character. Mark Wahlberg, because some people think that Mark Wahlberg actually played for the fucking Eagles.
Yeah.
I could have added, last but not least, I will say.
Is there like I'm trying to like I'm blanking
character, huh?
I'm blanking, but like, is there any more fictional characters for like Philadelphia?
Yeah, Brad Pitt's character from Silver Linings Playbook.
Yep.
We went to the
Bradley Cooper.
Sorry, Bradley Cooper. Bradley Cooper was much more Philly
and he's
name.
A proud Delco boy in Silver Linings Playbook. He went to the Landmark Diner.
Can you tell them the story real quick before we wrap up about when we were in college when you got shut down? Please?
Wait,
or I'll tell it if you want.
You tell it.
After a night of drinking in college, when me and Tom were obviously 21 plus. After a night, you go to the Landmark Diner and get a nice, hearty breakfast. That became a tradition for us a couple of times. I missed my breakfast with my guy, Tom. College was a great time. Shout out to St. Joe's. But I remember we one morning go. It's our whole friend group. Greg is there. You guys know Greg. He's on the pod. I think Jack was actually visiting. And we walk in the Landmark Diner and they actually have the booth where Bradley Cooper sat at. They have a little plaque that says Silver Linings Playbook was filmed here. Bradley Cooper acted here, whatever, it's like, oh, I think you can sit there if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, you can.
The lady was in a really bad mood that day. And no disrespect to Lanark Diner. Shout out to them. Maybe me and Tom were just annoying college kids. We clearly could have been. But it was so funny, and I love that this lady did this because this is one of my favorite stories. And Tom gets so excited. He walks in, he's like, oh my God, Dutch. Because I had never seen it, and I talked about it. I'm sure Tom had seen it. I'm like, where is it? He's like, right here, Dutch. This is where it was filmed. I'm like, wow, this is kind of cool. Tom like looks at the hostess. He's like, can we sit here? She's like, nah. She just takes us to like the back of the diner. Just that cold. Nah, kid, shut up. And that was when I knew I was in Delco. And that was when I fell in love with Delco. Because that's what you get. And the food was amazing. Shout out to Lanark Diner again, not trashing them. Their food is fantastic. Their service is great. And maybe, it was just dirty or something. But regardless, the point of that being, I miss living with Tom in our college days because shout out to Jaime's too. We would end up there a lot. There were a lot of good food spots around St. Joe's that you can end up at.
Never on St. Joseph's campus, but around St. Joe's, yes.
At least not when we were there, right? Now
they have Annie Ann's and Moe's and stuff. Those kids are spoiled.
You know what you got?
My brother's spoiled there.
We're gonna make some Annie Ann's pretzels after this podcast. I'm hungry now, baby. But I do want to thank everybody for tuning in to our season premiere of season 6. I want to thank KJ for joining us as a guest tonight. I think you guys will be seeing a lot more of this sexy beast throughout the season. We'll be doing some guesting. And, of course, at games, too, we're going to be collaborating with him. And, of course, Chris. You guys know Chris as well. We'll be collaborating with him, too. So stay tuned for a lot of fun stuff. Tuned up. But I can't wait to see it. Jack will be here soon. He is hanging out with his girlfriend tonight. He texted me. So he'll be around. Matt will be back soon, too. Here we go. Let the ball busting begin. I think Josh is with his girlfriend, too. So everybody's just with their girlfriends. But without further ado, hey, Josh, it's an outro, not an intro. Hit that outro.
Love is in the air. Ba, 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 ba. And love.
Don't love the lady from Lanark, though.
Dutchy.
Jack, you're a pussy.
Little Lark on top, baby.